Yes, welcome everyone. Cannabis News with Joe Klare for June 29th, 2018, presented by the Marijuana Times. Check us out at marijuanatimes.org. That is where you can find us. You can find a bunch of great articles there. All our social media links. Also, if you click the video tab at marijuanatimes.org, you can find this show right here. And of course, do not forget that the Marijuana Times YouTube channel has been restored. That's right. If you're a subscriber to us on YouTube, go check out the videos on there, like, comment, share, all that stuff, and make sure you click that little notification bell that will let you know when a new episode of Cannabis News has been uploaded to the Marijuana Times YouTube channel. Subscribing is not enough anymore for you to know when something's come up and something new has been posted. So click that little notification bell on the Marijuana Times YouTube channel, and you will know what is up. What is the haps, as the kids say. Today we're talking about a pharmacy that's already on board with Epidiolex, the new FDA-approved cannabis-derived drug that has to be, has to go through the processes, of course, but then now a pharmacy's already come out and said they're going to carry it. We'll tell you who that pharmacy is. Also, the U.S. Senate had a major vote on hemp legalization, historic, if you will, on hemp legalization. We'll talk about that. And we will delve into the saga of Permit Patty. I haven't covered it up till now, but it is a cannabis news story. It's in the cannabis community, even though it's it's viral out beyond that. So we'll get into Permit Patty and an update on that, about what's going on with her and her company. All of that coming up. But first, of course, Cannabis News is brought to you by Natureside and their organic, all-natural pesticides. Make sure you check out nature-side.com. Side is spelled C-I-D-E. If you're a cannabis grower, you want to be regulatory compliant. You don't want to use harmful pesticides. You don't want to use banned pesticides. You want to grow safe and poison-free, and you can do that with Natureside, nature-side.com, a proud sponsor of Cannabis News. Make sure you go check them out because they are awesome. This first story by Jason Sander over marijuanatimes.org. Rite Aid Pharmacy to sell its first cannabis medicine. If you guessed something else besides Rite Aid, I'm sorry, you've lost this round of Cannabis News trivia. Rite Aid will soon begin selling the first ever cannabis medicine in its stores. It's called Epidiolex. Of course, we covered it when it was passed. We did quite a few stories on it, actually, when it was going through the process. Now, of course, the FDA approved Epidiolex. It's a GW Pharmaceuticals drug that's for epilepsy. It's for epilepsy. It's being manufactured by GW Pharmaceuticals, as I said. The DEA now has 90 days to schedule the drug. After that, Rite Aid says they will begin selling it. Given that Epidiolex has received approval from the FDA upon being rescheduled, Rite Aid expects to fill prescriptions for Epidiolex later in the year based on availability. According to Rite Aid spokeswoman Ashley Fowler, Walgreens, CVS, and Walmart have refused to comment on whether or not they would offer the cannabis medicine, but I have to think that they would eventually, but they didn't get out on it like Rite Aid. Rite Aid's right out there, man. Like, hey, look at us. You may have forgot we were still here. Rite Aid. Walgreens and CVS and Walmart and all kinds of other pharmacies all around. You may have forgot we're still here. Rite Aid. Come see us sometime. So they're going to carry Epidiolex. If you want to see my thoughts on the whole FDA approval of that, go back a few episodes. I forget which one. I know I should be able to give you a number as to which episode that is to go look at, but I'm sorry. It's not handy at my fingertips right now, so you have to fend for yourself. Just a little searching. Just go back and watch them all. They're all good. You want to know what's going on. Watch episodes of Cannabis News. And this next story is from Forbes.com. U.S. Senate votes to legalize hemp after decades-long ban under marijuana prohibition. The non-psychoactive cannabis cousin of marijuana would finally become legal to grow in the United States under a bill overwhelmingly approved by the Senate. The agricultural and food policy legislation known as the Farm Bill passed by a vote of 86-11 on Thursday. It contains provisions to legalize the cultivation, processing, and sale of industrial hemp. The move, championed by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican from Kentucky, who's really the force behind this, would also make hemp plants eligible for crop insurance. Mitch McConnell really put his weight as Senate Majority Leader behind this and made sure that it got done. He said in a floor speech on Thursday, consumers across America buy hundreds of millions in retail products every year that contain hemp, but due to outdated federal regulations that do not sufficiently distinguish this industrial crop from its illicit cousin, American farmers have been mostly unable to meet that demand themselves. It's left consumers with little choice but to buy imported hemp products from foreign-produced hemp, all of which is absolutely 100% true. So congratulations to Mitch McConnell. Whether or not this makes it through the House remains to be seen. I imagine if it does, Trump's not going to put up, a big fight about industrial hemp. I don't think that's where he wants to do battle, and I don't expect him to. But if it goes to the House, then we'll see what happens from there. But things continue to move well. It's easy to get discouraged sometimes. I think, well, there's so much going on the internet, and there's just too much to process, too much to handle. You kind of think that all this stuff I talk about cannabis all the time and hemp and post videos and share stories and all that, it's not really doing anything, but it is. It all comes together. It all gathers. You share this video somewhere, someone else shares it. Someone shares a story from us or from High Times or from whoever else. So even mainstream, Washington Post, Forbes, any of those places, sharing stories, retweeting, saying, send somebody a private message, hey, check out this story. It all accumulates to make real change and to push these people who would think Mitch McConnell would be, Mr. Hemp. He's Mr. Industrial Hemp, Mitch McConnell. He still doesn't think marijuana should be legalized, but, we don't need him for that. He pushed through industrial hemp. There'll be other champions of marijuana that maybe we don't expect. Happens all the time. The more people are changing their minds, the polls are moving, more politicians are coming on board. Just keep at it is my point. It's my very long-winded way of saying keep at it, keep spreading the word. Don't think that what you do, even if it's little, doesn't mean anything, because it adds to everything. Even if you think of it as a bucket of sand and you're just throwing grains of sand in there, well, if everybody starts throwing in grains of sand, you get a full bucket of sand. That's right. That's why you should share this video, analogies like that. Did you see that guy on Cannabis News, his bucket of sand analogy? It was fantastic. Now, as promised, these are stories. I'm going to do two stories, NBCBayArea.com and ABC7News.com. Permit Patty. You saw Permit Patty last week. She went viral. A little 16 second video. Went viral on Instagram. Basically, this mother was out with her child. They're on the street selling water. And Permit Patty, who that's not her real name, that's what the internet and I guess this woman also dubbed her. Her name is Alison Ettel. She comes out apparently and starts talking about this 8-year-old girl needing a permit to sell water on the streets. This woman is white. The 15 or 16 second video is very unflattering to her, and she's hiding behind something. That she's like, "You need a permit to sell water. This is not your property." She looks horrible. Okay, but there's obviously a whole backstory as to what led up to that. Turns out that what made it big and made it go viral was the fact that this woman was white and the girl that she's calling the police on is black. And of course, that created a racial overtone or undertone, or however you want to put it, when it comes to this. And so that's what made it go viral. That's what put it out to the wider world of social media. And this first story, I think there's a video on there. These are all linked, by the way. These stories, as always, are linked in the description of the video. This Chinese woman this Asian woman who's down the street, she says that, this person right here is, this kid's white, and they're selling stuff. They're selling even more stuff than water. It's a good thing she's not black, or this person's not black, because that's why this happened. I would point out that the person down the street was down the street. This woman right here says, and we'll get into it a little bit more here in a minute in these stories. She says it didn't have anything to do with race at all. She didn't see the girl, which I think her story's changed kind of a little bit, but says she was talking to the mother. Permit Patty, Alison Ettel, she says that this woman and her daughter were outside selling water and saying the girl was being very annoying with her sales pitch every 3 seconds. Hey, bottle of water. You want to buy a bottle of water? Like some kind of, auctioneer. And she's raising money to go to Disneyland. Her mom just lost her job. All that stuff. So this woman, Permit Patty, says that she talked to the mom and tried to get her to tone it down, the girl to tone it down. And also the security guard for the building asked them to tone it down. And then she says she came out and she was calling the police to inquire about whether or not a permit was needed. And that's when the video was taken. There was for her part, the mom who took the video, she says none of that happened. This woman just came out acting like an idiot and being a B word. And And that's why she filmed her. And the video, the little 16-second clip, went viral on the internet. This first story, as I said, from NBCBayArea.com. A woman captured on cell phone video allegedly calling police regarding an 8-year-old black girl selling water bottles near AT&T Park in San Francisco is speaking out publicly, saying the incident had nothing to do with race and everything to do with asking neighbors to quiet down. In interview with NBC's Today Show, Alison Ettel says she was frustrated with the commotion coming from the sales on the sidewalk outside her building while she was working. By the way, I should mention, the reason this is cannabis news is soon after this video came out, it became public knowledge that she was the CEO of Treatwell, which is a cannabis tincture company. Apparently they make it for pets and humans as well. CBD tinctures. So obviously her business was targeted by people on the internet. We'll get to more of that in a minute. She says she didn't call the authorities to report the girl, who was identified as Jordan, but wanted to inquire about the legality of selling water without a permit, where the mother and daughter were positioned along the street. I want the little girl to know it was not her fault, Ettel told the Today Show. I want the mother to know this has nothing to do with race at all. It had everything to do with the disturbance. I was very stressed out. I definitely made comments I never would have made in any other situation, and it's not an excuse. It wasn't immediately clear what happened before the video began capturing the exchange. Ettel said the confrontation started after she heard commotion coming from the water bottle sales happening outside. It was continuous, she's told Today. It was like $2, cold water, $2, just nonstop for 2 hours. It just got pretty difficult to deal with. Now, here, a piece of advice. If there's something like that going on, film it. Film it. I know it's hard, especially for older people. We don't realize sometimes that, we're all, for the last 10 years, we've all been carrying cameras in our pockets. That's why there's so much video on the internet of things happening. If this girl is just being annoying, film her for 5 minutes. Somebody sees 5 minutes of that, they'll be like, well, maybe I would have yelled at her too. But you don't see that. You just see the 16 seconds that was on video. Film something, even if it comes to nothing. If you don't have a YouTube channel to put it on or whatever. I know it's a horrible thought. But if something like that is happening, just film it. And obviously hindsight's 20/20, but still, it's good advice for you people out there. Ettel, who noted that she could only hear and not see the vendors at the time, says she asked a security guard to talk to Austin and her daughter and asked them to quiet down and move around the corner. According to Ettel, they refused to move. Frustrated by the allegedly continuous noise, Ettel eventually went outside and asked Austin and her daughter to keep it down. I was stern, Ettel told Today. I tried to be polite, but I was stern, and I said, please, I'm trying to work. You're screaming, you're yelling, and people have open windows. It's a hot day. Can you please keep it down? Do you have a right to be here? But Austin refutes Ettel's account, saying she never asked us to be quiet. She just came out and directly demanded to see a permit to sell water from an 8-year-old. Obviously, because none of that was filmed, we don't know who's right. One side may be 80% right, and one side may be 50-50, one side may be 100% right. We don't know because we don't have the video. Film things that are happening. And I understand that she's mad if she's telling the truth. She's mad about the water. But, she knows that was a bad decision because those 16 seconds on that video, that's changed her life. Which brings us to our next story from ABC7.com. Permit Patty resigns from company after a San Francisco incident involving a child selling water. Spokesperson for Treatwell Health says that the company's CEO, Alison Ettel, has resigned effective immediately following a viral incident in which she called the police on an 8-year-old girl selling bottles of water outside of AT&T Park in San Francisco. She says she did not call the police and didn't ever made a report about anything. She just said that she was calling to inquire about the permit. SFPD later confirmed to ABC 7 News they did not receive any calls about anyone selling water. Here's Treatwell's statement in part. As a spokesperson for Treatwell Health, we are deeply sorry and regret the incident that occurred this past weekend. A terrible mistake was made that affected a young girl and her family. It's important to know it was never the intention to disparage, harass, or cause any harm to the child nor her mother. However, in a heated moment, a critically wrong decision was made by our CEO. The guilt lies in that decision, and while it was completely wrong, the act that followed was not motivated by any racist intent whatsoever. That's what put the video out in the viral outrage culture mill. And from what I've seen, and I'll call it like it is, but I didn't see any evidence whatsoever that this is racially motivated. There was no, she didn't say, hey, monkey, get off the street or anything like that. Anything that you would imagine would say, oh, well, that broad's a racist. That B word's a racist, or a harsher word for someone like that. I saw nothing that would indicate that she did it for racial reasons. She was annoyed by this girl and her mom selling water, and she did something stupid, something she's going to pay for probably a long time, as people do all the time, especially in the world of viral videos and social media and all that. The statement continues, we are aware of the tumultuous tide of racism in this country and agree that its very existence has no place anywhere, especially in the cannabis industry. Rather, we respect all family values, virtues and religious beliefs, lifestyles, and we are supportive of all, and as a company, we refute all notions of prejudice. They're going to talk about their company, and they want to heal and enrich and all that stuff. They're trying to get past it. She's going to try to get past it. We'll see. Does she deserve what happened to her? I don't know. I mean, I think one bad decision shouldn't ruin your life, especially if it's something where no one was harmed. I mean, she didn't go and smack the girl. She didn't smack the mom. She didn't infringe on their rights at all, because apparently you do need a permit to sell water there. That's a thing. That's a crazy thing. I'm not one of those people that believes that a little girl selling water on the street should have to have a permit from someone, but that is the law there. I disagree with it. I think it's dumb. I think to enforce it would be even dumber. But it is what it is. Like I said, in the end, no one's rights were infringed. This girl's now viral. She's getting her 15 minutes of fame. She got tickets to Disneyland, all that stuff. So it's a little weird, but it is what it is. That's the viral outrage culture that we live in, for better or worse. Social media and the internet do a lot of things, but they also take a lot of things away. And, we have to strike a balance going forward. Yeah, I know. We ended kind of deep there here on Cannabis News, but sometimes I'm deep. I'm a deep thinker. Thanks, everybody. Your weekend can start now. That's the end of the week. Check us out on YouTube, Vimeo, Apple Podcasts, marijuanatimes.org. Keep sharing the show. That would be awesome of you to do. Thanks, everybody, who checks us out. And we'll see you next time on Cannabis News.